Right, got it.
Playing from Francois Home.
Start. Okay, when you're ready, Dave, away you go.
Hello, I'm Dave, and you're listening to the boys from Bossk on a Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Here's my co-host, Curtis J. Francois. Woo, 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 woo. How's that? Do you like that? Yeah? Yeah.
You're a beautiful man. In fact, Dave, when you're doing your comfortable voice, you sound fantastic. You're a beautiful voice. And ladies and gentlemen, isn't he looking gorgeous today? I have to say, Dave, that hair does look good on you. Very few men does long hair look good. Most of them, it just makes them look a bit, a bit weird.
I'm like the Messiah come back.
You are like he who was born again. But anyway, what you got for us this week then, Dave? Come on, hit me.
What have I got for you? I don't know. What have we got today? Oh, we went to Comic-Con.
Oh, actually, hold on. Do you want to tell the story? I think you should tell the story.
No, I'm not going to tell the story. I'm not grass.
All right. Well, like we Comic-Con. Well, not Comic-Con. It was a film convention.
It was the spring Comic Con. The spring, not the making.
Yeah. Oh, something's happening with your mic.
Oh, sorry, I'm moving.
It was humming there. So like we got up. Like I don't usually. I had my time was off. Like I was on. I'm on holiday effectively. Or what passes for holiday these days. And I was just like, do you know what I mean? I'm gonna have some time off. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna take it easy. I wasn't getting out of bed early for anybody, but we agreed weeks ago that we'd go to Comic-Con. And we were meant to go at. No, we were meant to be in there. Well, we agreed to meet at midday, right? Well, midday, Olympia. And I knew the day was going wrong already when I went to catch the bus. Get a phone call from Dave going, guys, it's going to take me maybe an hour to get there. All right, okay, why? Because the trains are out. Okay, that's always a bad sign. When your day starts with trains are out, okay, stuff's going wrong. But I live literally half an hour away from not even half an hour, 15, 20-minute walk to Olympia from where I live. So I could have walked, right? So I go to get a bus. Well, I leave my house meeting at midday. So I leave my house at about 11:30. I'm like, do you know what? I'll meet Dave nice and sweet. I'll even meet Dave early because, I'm going to get there first, have a cup of coffee. And unlike when I'm usually late when I'm meeting Dave, you won't have to like, where are you? Right?
Yeah, because Curtis is always late.
Yeah. But then it gets worse. Right, it gets worse because I get the bus, right? I'm like, cool. I missed the first bus, which was the 306, which was going up to Olympia, then turns left, and would have been a lot easier anyway. I get on the 28 bus. Now, anybody who knows the 28 bus, it goes up to where Olympia is and goes up to Notting Hill Gate and then round the houses, right? We get halfway to where we need to be, and it takes a diversion. And it's the weirdest diversion I've ever been on because it took a left at Cromwell Road, Dave, you know Cromwell Road?
I know Cromwell Road, yeah.
And then takes a right just before Hammersmith and goes all the way up to where the Earls Court is near Earls Court.
Well, by
Tesco. Finally, it goes up. It went up to near where Olympia was, but I had to jump up and walk a bit further than normal, which ain't the end of the world. Oh my God, that was a longer journey than I planned. I really wasn't on the book. I think it added like 15 minutes to the journey. And then we jump off. I get there. I'm like, Dave, where are you? He's like, and where you are? Well, clearly not, Dave.
I am. I was just behind the building site.
I saw boarded up. I was like, okay. But you're near the station. Yeah, I'm near the station. walk down, we meet up, like, hey, hey, we're like, hey, hey. I was like, let's go in. And I can't remember exactly what happened at this point. The security guard was like,
they're not selling tickets.
All right, not selling tickets at the door. No, tickets on the door. You have to go online. At which point we went online.
And guess what happened, everyone?
There was no tickets. It was completely sold out. And I was shocked it was completely sold out because we got at 12 o'clock. There were people leaving already. I don't know how much
open from 9. It was open from 9 o'clock. They were £18.
£18. So people were leaving already unless they're going for lunch somewhere or something and then going to come back. So it was like, we got there, we couldn't even get in. And then we had to go, we went for we stood there for a few minutes, bitching about the universe, as you do. And then we just went to the pub. But you think it couldn't get any worse, right? Ordered 2 pints of Guinness. 2 of the worst pints I've ever had. But literally didn't even bother pouring it right. Like with Guinness, I don't know if you know how Guinness is meant to be, but it's meant to have a little head.
Oh, this one.
A nice little head. Yeah, nice little head.
Cream going down the sides.
But no head. It was almost like nobody in this pub knew how to pour Guinness. I was like, isn't that the first thing they teach you when you go and work in a pub? How to pour by the Guinness. What do I know?
What do you know?
But that was our trip to Comic-Con.
Yeah. We saw some nerds from the outside.
So this time round, I do owe Dave some money this time round, but we booked our tickets for the next one.
In May, the proper Comic-Con.
Yeah, which is when? What date is that?
May the 26th.
All right, I need to make sure I've got that date off. So I can go. That really hurt my feelings, man. Really hurt my feelings. Turn up.
We would have brought the tickets beforehand, but someone else told us not to get them. Not mentioning no names, Mike. It never sells out. We can get them on the door. It's okay. We forgive you. Where are you, baby?
Oh, Mikey. But that was a nice day. We chilled out. We had a drink and stuff, and then we hung out with lots of, I don't know.
We had a couple of beers.
Fans. Yeah. Hang out with some rugby fans. Tried out the table service. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, overall, it was not a terrible night. But still, all that effort for Comic-Con. I even put my nice suit on. I had my Spider-Man costume on underneath.
I hope you never.
No, I didn't. I was tempted to go as middle-aged Spider-Man.
Every day of your life, isn't it?
No, I can't stick to walls. Oh. I can stick to many things, but not walls.
Right, so we're going to get on with the show.
Okay. That is the show. We already started.
People don't want to talk about our disastrous day to Comic-Con.
We're in the midst of the show. Well, all right.
We actually had a bad week as well because we went and watched Uncharted on Thursday. Or was it Friday?
Yeah, we'll review that. We'll review Uncharted at the end.
And after last week's show, we used like, oh yeah, it's going to be great. I love Tom Holland. Yeah, okay. We'll see.
Well, you don't know if I loved it or not. But we'll talk about it after. We'll talk about it after. Is it the new Indiana Jones or the new Fast and Furious? Find out during this episode of The Boys from Bossk. Now, I've got a few stories on the menu. Which story will we go for first? We've got quite a few of them this week. Dave, do you want to pick? Do you want to pick a story? Pick our first.
I'd love to pick a story, but I haven't got the list in front of me. Let me just turn my tablet on.
Okay, all right. Well,
you pick a story and then let me get the list up because all
right, okay. So
I'm in comedy mode.
I guess it's big news this week. I guess we'll go over it first. Batman, Batman. It's out next week. It's releasing internationally.
It's out on Thursday actually.
This Thursday, the 4th.
This Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. No, the 3rd. I know that's cool. So I'll be probably going to watch that this week. The review embargoes of I think coming off today or tomorrow evening. It's already, I think, about ready to bank 100 million on its first weekend. The reviews have been coming in. Overall, they have been positive. I haven't read any of the positive ones. I've just read the ones where people are like, it's middling. It's not going to get released in Russia due to
like
the
my
crisis.
Eh?
What's that
Better
got to
than
do
what
with
you had. That's better than what you had the other day in the pub.
I know. Why are you
Look at
rubbing
that
it
creamy
in?
head. Eh?
You're meant to be Jesus.
Mm.
Why are you rubbing it in?
Because Jesus made water. I make Guinness.
Into wine, baby. Into wine. Not Guinness.
Yeah, I made water into Guinness, just like my Irish ancestors. Slanger.
So yeah, I've got like Batman. So Batman's going to be, I think, a huge release. I don't know if it's going to be. I've got a feeling it might even make it into Spider-Man territory in terms of money. It is in the top 10, one of the top 10 franchises of all time. The last Batman film sole outing for Batman was what was it? It was actually Dark Knight. No, not Dark Knight. It was Batman. Hold on, it was Batman Begins. I forgot what was the last Batman film.
The one with Bane. No, it's one with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, no. Batman never had a solo outing. The last time Batman had a
Solo outing was with Bane.
yeah, what was that one? What was the Bane one called?
Batman Origins. I don't know. I can't remember. Batman 3. The Attack of Bane. Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight.
That one?
God, you're meant to help a brother out here.
Well, you didn't say this story ain't on the list, so you're going off script.
So, no, it's not. So the Dark Knight. So you had that. You had Dark Knight. You had Batman Begins. You had Dark Knight, and then I think it was Batman Triumph. I can't remember. Anyway, so the last Batman outing with Christian Bale was the last solo outing, and we had a Batman. Yeah. This film's going to be, a big return for that. So there's no Superman in it. There's no Ben Affleck. It's a whole new Batman that we're seeing. It's based on Batman Year One. The reviews, I think, have been middling to fantastic. There's been this is utterly rubbish reviews. I think it's just over 2.5 hours long. So it's going to be a really long movie.
Still a 3-hour film, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the core villains, the Riddler. But obviously, it's got a few others like the Penguins in there and the rest of it. Are you looking forward to it, Dave? Are you going to spend? Obviously, you're going to go see it.
I'm going to go and watch it.
I don't see you not seeing it.
I'm definitely going to go and watch it. I might actually watch it Friday morning if it's empty. Yeah, I tried not to watch any of the trailers apart from the very first one, so I know nothing. I'm going in.
Oh, I don't think you need to watch the trailers. From what I hear.
Yeah, but everyone keeps going on our Batwoman, Catwoman, and this and the Riddler. And it's like, do you know what? I don't want to know. I just want to go in. I want to watch it, give my opinion, and then walk away. And I could have a smile on my face, or I can be miserable.
But are you excited for it? Like, is it?
No, I'm never excited. I'm never excited for movies no more.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing goes, oh, this is coming out now, because you just get disappointed.
Warner Brothers, that's on you. Dave used to get excited about movies. Dave used to, really enjoy his films.
You used to walk out of films, and now it's just like
Warner Brothers for this.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I'm at that age now where they're just repeating everything, and it's like, well, I've seen this as a kid. You just changed the graphics. That's not how the story was written originally, and now you're going off key. So,
which was why the Uncharted film will make quite an interesting review. Like I said, I think this film looks like it's got much more in common with The Dark Knight than the original Batman films, and it's definitely got a lot in common with Batman Year One. It's interesting. It's another British actor playing the Dark Knight, Robert Pattinson, somebody who I know whenever I don't think they make a good Batman character, they tend to prove me wrong. Like I remember being young and they announced Michael Keaton. I was like, really, Michael Keaton, Batman? And he's perfectly brilliant as Batman in the first two Tim Burton films. And when they announced Christian Bale, I was like, okay, British actor, interesting choice. And Robert Pattinson, I fear, may be part of the same. I did not like Twilight. I refused to watch any of the Twilight films. I tried watching the first one. And the second the vampire started glowing, I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
Did Christian Bale do Terminator after Batman?
Yes, he did. He did.
Well, that was
Terminator
between two.
after,
That was two and three, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he got a lot of. No, I think it was after the third one because he got a lot of bad press for Terminator. Because somebody recorded him having a go at one.
No, I was just thinking of what films I saw him in before, because I remember like seeing him as a young actor in Empire of the Sun, and I saw American Psycho.
Yeah,
and he was very good at that.
Yeah,
I think that's probably how he got the part for Batman, because he was very dark and mysterious in that.
Yeah, and he had a very wide range.
He's a good actor.
I remember watching Empire of the Sun. That was
that came out when I was about 10. Yeah, brilliant film.
Yeah, that was a Steven Spielberg movie, and that was very. Oh God, Christian Bale's like 1 year older than me.
White privilege.
No, he's Welsh.
Yeah. Still white though, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but the Welsh, do you know what I mean? They're like, they're cool. So yeah, he's had a few miss hits, but let me check. Yeah, so Terminator Salvation he did before Dark Knight Rises. You're correct. But he's done some pretty bad films in between. But he's had I think Batman sort of. I was going to say kicked it off for him, but no, I'm wrong, because he did before Batman Begins. Probably Equilibrium. He done that one. Reign of Fire. Do you remember that?
Equilibrium. That was Reign of Fire with the dragons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Equilibrium was okay-ish.
And I forget he was in Shaft.
Really?
Yeah.
The Samuel L. Jackson one.
You don't remember him in Shaft. Nobody remembers him in Shaft. But he plays a bit. He's like the posh kid crackhead who's dealing, and he gets smacked around by that black guy who's playing a Mexican who's I've forgotten his name. No, why have I forgotten his name? Right, okay. So I know this is slightly offbeat, all right, but you've got to watch Shaft again. Because Christian Bale plays a character called Walter Wade, and it's also got Jeffrey Wright playing the worst Mexican stereotype you can imagine. And just for that, it's worth watching. Just for that. So I'm dropping out there as a Bossk find, a bounty find, Shaft, the first one. Terrible film. It's a terrible film. But so Batman's looking like it's going to be good. Unfortunately, the Russians are going to have to do that thing where they, download it and stream it because they ain't getting none. The Russians ain't getting no love this month for being bastards. But that's another story for another time.
Oh, I think you can't blame the citizens of Russia.
Okay, the Russian government ain't getting no love.
But the Russian
what the Russian government's done, the lovely people of Russia are going to have to miss out on some Batman action. But I'm sure if they're desperate enough to see it, they'll find a way. Now, another big film that's going to be released in the next couple of months, I believe, is Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, Harry Potter, I think, ran out of steam a long time ago. Fantastic Beasts sort of blew some into it, but then problems with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp.
Is that his new name? So he gets
Johnny
parts
Depp.
in films.
He got as he would claim cancelled from Fantastic Beasts, but he got fired from Fantastic Beasts, and a new film's coming out. They've replaced Johnny Depp. It looks quite good, but then a trailer is a trailer is a trailer. And I've found the past Fantastic Beasts slightly underwhelming. As movies, have you watched any of them, Dave? Have you been?
I tried to watch the first one, and I think Eddie Redmayne is on my list with Andrew Garfield and. No, I tried watching it, and I was like, this ain't for me. Eddie, I like Eddie Redmayne. He's actually a good actor.
Well, this one they've replaced old Johnny Boy, with Mads Mikkelsen, who you might remember as he played a load of roles, but I liked him when he played. Remember Hannibal, TV show?
Sorry, you're talking to me.
Yeah, no.
I thought he was talking. I thought he was talking to the viewers.
It's
Sorry.
only me and you here.
Well, we're not. We're around. Where's Mike?
Mike. He also played the villain in Doctor Strange. He's a fantastic actor. And I think, if you know him you'll remember him from Doctor Strange.
I know him.
You'll remember him from Hannibal. You probably won't remember he was in Rihanna, Bitch Better Have My Money music video. You won't remember him from that, but he was also
He also played that really crap film on Netflix as a hitman. I think it was just called Hitman. Yeah, last year. It was one of those.
He was also, I think he was one of the villains in the Three Musketeers. I think, was it a Disney version? It was definitely a Disney-fied version. It was basically a Paul W.S. Anderson film, and that was really bad. I love the Three Musketeers. I think it's the greatest book ever written. But unfortunately, the film versions always left a lot to be desired. But yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's going to be in Fantastic Beasts. The trailer, I know you don't like a trailer. I'm not going to make you watch it, but the trailer looks absolutely fantastic. And for the first time, it looks like there's actual a level of danger being added to the film, but also just decent magical fights. Harry Potter, the fights in Harry Potter with magic, I always found very underwhelming. I hate using that word a lot, but they were very underwhelming and sort of let the film down in the end. Whereas this seems to be up in their game a bit, and it looks like it could be delivering on some really big action. And hopefully people won't miss Johnny Depp too much, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Let us know what you think. Are you a big Harry Potter fan, or have you been put off by the change from Johnny Depp? Let us know on the show. Right, any other stories? Anything stick out to you? Did you get the list up?
I've got the list up. They're releasing a new Mandalorian comic in June.
Now that is actually quite exciting news.
That I think that's quite exciting because that'd be the first one of the Mandalorian. So
it's going to be the first one they actually appears.
I think they say it's only going to be one series at the moment, 8 comics. So it looks really good to come out, and it's just going to lead on. They're going to bring out what was his name? Kazatan, Griziatan. They're bringing his own comic out after that.
Who's
Black Crampton?
Oh right, yeah. Did you hear about? Well, I think we spoke about it, but a while ago about how that character they did they launched the toy, but it was just a repaint of Chewbacca. And the Black Cassian or whatever it is huge. He's like twice the Wookiee size. He's not a small. Chewie's not as big.
Him and Chewie are the same size.
They're not. He's way bigger than Chewie.
No,
he's a gladiator. He's like Johnny Depp compared to Russell Crowe.
No, he's not. It's only because Chewie's not there standing next
Dave,
to him.
I'm not having this. He's way. I want you to go back and watch Star Wars.
Anyway, Chewbacca kicked his ass in the comic already. Yeah,
well, that put an end to that story. One of my other favorite stories this week is basically, one of my more favorite stories this week is that they're taking all the stuff off of Netflix. So
all the Disney stuff.
All the Disney stuff's coming off of Netflix. Now it was announced a couple of weeks ago, but they only confirmed that Canada Disney Plus would be getting it. They never confirmed it would be arriving on Disney Plus internationally. Now they confirmed it as of today that it's going to end up on Disney Plus, but I'm hoping it's Star, because if it's on Star, they won't edit it. Because Daredevil, out of all 4 of those shows, I think had the most. There was people getting impaled, blood everywhere. and it was a shame if that
Didn't
gets
Daredevil
edited
get
out.
impaled on the railings from the building when he fell out?
No, I think he fights a dude that does.
Okay.
Do you remember in the alleyway when he
I
gets
don't
the
know.
guy out of
It was about 4 or 5 years ago now. It's watched a lot of stuff since
was
then.
it really is that long ago?
Yeah. It might have been longer than that.
No, well, yeah, it's 7 years ago because it's April 2015.
Yeah, so 7 years ago.
Yeah, April 2015 was when Daredevil launched on Netflix, and then it was all cancelled in 2018. And you know, I think, do you know what? I think Netflix did such a good job on that once Disney realized it could start its own streaming service off the back of Marvel properties, that was it. And that is why I think in the long term that Netflix, unless it buys a really big franchise, and it's already missed out on James Bond and MGM, I reckon Sony's going to be a good shot for
But
them.
this is the big thing that I got a bit weird of, because they got the rights to the new Vikings, haven't they?
Yeah.
Was this before Amazon brought MGM? Because it's actually made by MGM.
So they'll probably end up losing them at some point.
Because Vikings was originally a thingy show anyway.
History
Channel show. Yeah, but it was on Amazon over here.
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah. And on History like 4 months later.
No, not in the States. I think it was
over...
on History in the States.
It was on History over here, but it was like a season behind.
And at the moment, the rights are owned by an Irish-Canadian co-production company. No, it's History Channel. Yeah. It's a mixture of HBO and History Channel.
No, it's MGM. It even says it on the title screen.
Well, they might have done the production work on it, but they didn't own the rights.
Well, we'll see.
And another thing about Vikings, Dave, I'm struggling. I'm gonna literally, right? Did you watch the last 4 episodes?
I've watched them all.
The last.
Are you talking about the new one or the old one?
The old one. I'm trying to get to the end of the old one.
Just delete that anyway. It doesn't matter. Just watch the new one.
Like literally, they're reinventing.
Because the new one's 100 years later, so they don't count anyway. So it's okay.
Well,
yeah, it does. Vikings, it does struggle. Yeah. It struggles a lot.
I'm going to try and get through it. I can't wait to watch a new one and see if it's got some of the energy that the original show had.
It was okay. I enjoyed it.
The original show, I think the first 2-3 years were amazing. Just in terms of how much energy it carried through, because a lot of shows, considering the last 2 seasons haven't been great, it still had a lot of energy in it, and it was hard, man. It's been a bit of a journey, but I absolutely love that show, and I hope it's good, but I haven't started watching it yet. But you've watched a few episodes, Dave.
I've watched the whole season. I binge watched it after Comic-Con.
That's another review.
Binge watched all 8 episodes.
Oh, it's only 8 episodes. That's all right.
Yeah.
And I'll try and I've got 4 episodes of the last one to do, and then I'll jump into that. But yes, that comes off the back of news that the Marvel shows are making the jump from Netflix to Disney. The Netflix shows have still been a big pull for Netflix. So big that, in fact, I think it was trending a couple of weeks online as people rediscovered the show. And I have to say, Daredevil, outside of, I think, season 2, how many seasons do they have? 3 seasons of Daredevil. Because the second season, I think, was slightly
maybe
ropey.
3.
And the third, the last season was superb.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
Yeah, the third season of Daredevil.
No, the second season was awesome.
No, I thought it was a bit ropey.
Because I couldn't get into the first season.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, until the last 4 episodes. The last 4 episodes were awesome of the first season.
Right. I got hooked from.
And then I binge watched the whole second season.
When they did the fight scene in the corridor.
But then, if you look at those shows, what was actually good? All 3 Daredevils are good. First season of Jessica Jones. First season and a half of Luke Cage. The rest of them were crap.
There's only one other show.
No, because you had the Defenders as well, and that was just appalling.
Oh, I thought you were just hating on what's his name? Iron Fist.
No, I'm saying like even Jessica Jones. I didn't like the second and third season. I thought they were shit.
I was okay with the second season. The third season, I think, went all over the place in a hurry to finish it.
I just didn't even attempt to watch it. I turned it on. I went, "Do you know what? I can't even be bothered."
Okay, no, I didn't have a problem with it. I think the only ones I think the second season of Luke Cage, I found dragged a bit, even though it had some great casting in it. And Iron Fist, again, was a bit too dated, but they did try and make amends to that by the end of that. I think, how many seasons did Iron Fist get? One season?
Two, I think.
I think it was by the end of whatever season it was, but at the end of its run, they did try.
He lost his chi.
Yeah, and the female character that he was with in that one, she ended up with the Iron Fist powers, and I thought that was quite a nice touch. But yeah, for some people it is, for some people it isn't. It was Jessica Henwick who played Colleen Wing. That's it. She, I think, ended up being Iron Fist at the end of that run. But yeah, some people didn't like it. Some people do like it. I think it was a really, really good show. I thought most of them were really good, but Iron Fist was probably the least out of the lot of them. But I do want to see a return of at least the return of Jessica Jones and the guy who played Luke Cage. I think they deserve to come back, man. And because I think they did quite a good job, irrelevant of how the series turned out. And Jessica Jones, I just loved her style. She was one of the characters that I think was only created in the early 2000s by Bendis, who also created Miles Morales. And I think the fact that she was able to even get her own show that early in says a lot about how fantastic the whole Marvel thing was around it. But anyway, we'll come back to that another time. So just for the record, Netflix shows will be on from, I believe, March 16th, I think is when they're coming on, or maybe slightly later, but they will definitely all be on Disney+. Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Disney+ UK at the moment?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, because apparently...
Yeah, that was on there from day one.
I know, but I think it got...
Because I watched the last season on there.
Yeah, but I think I watched the last season on Amazon before I watched it on... There were seasons that weren't...
No, because the last season only came out on Disney+.
Then it was the season before.
Season 6 was on Amazon.
Yeah, so a lot of it I watched on Amazon before I could even watch it on Disney+.
Well, most of it was on Channel 4 before that, wasn't it? So
yeah, E4. Welcome to E4. Before we can even watch that, right? I can't get it. I'm not going to say I can't get it up. I can't get it. So yeah, so all those shows are coming to Disney+, and I think with the advent of Doctor Strange, that's probably why that's happening. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the characters from that whole series actually appears in Doctor Strange, because Professor X is appearing in Doctor Strange 2 for sure. And I know might be a few other characters from alternative universes. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of the characters from the Netflix stuff actually appears in Doctor Strange 2. But me not putting no money on it. Don't quote me. And I don't know if Daredevil's going to be in it, but we shall see. Which
you had the Punisher as well. That was a good show.
It's all right. And
I really like the Punisher.
It was all right. And
it was better than the
Chi. I'm kidding. We completely forgot the Punisher. But the Punisher was different. Yeah, but the Punisher was different though. It's a lot more...
It was his own show.
Yeah, it was a lot more hardcore. Do you know what I mean? It was like... Yeah. It was. I
mean, that's why we skipped it, because it weren't in that list of the 4, was it?
It was a lot more hardcore, and it was a lot more different as a show. And I think it was a lot more grounded, because it wasn't... Punisher was originally set as a Vietnam vet.
Well, he was introduced in Luke Cage, though, wasn't he?
Right? No,
or was it Daredevil?
Daredevil. It was in Daredevil. He was first introduced, and his character was much more of a in the comic books. He's a Vietnam vet, that comes home and his family gets slaughtered. In this one, he's a cop, and his family gets shot at a fun fair, I think it is. So it's kind of like they had to change it up a bit, but it works quite well because I think he was also a soldier at one point. Because what's his name, Jigsaw, his enemy, is actually suffering from PTSD, and it's quite interesting to see that they developed that sort of storyline in the Marvel thing as well. So that was quite nice. Hopefully we'll see him come back, and hopefully it'll be on Disney Star and not Disney Plus, because I really don't want to see those shows edited down. Right, big news.
Sorry, pour another juice.
No, that's all right. Right, because we jumped on that because you mentioned the Mandalorian comic. A character that originally appeared in TVs ended up in another comic book, and that's Venus de Milo. It was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s TV show, I believe. Early 90s is making a comeback.
It was in the 80s, was it?
I can't remember. Turtles, did that kick off in the 90s or the 80s? The film?
I don't know. I remember I was a child still, so.
Well, the Venus de Milo, who was the only female turtle to ever pop up, I believe, in the
female
movies,
turtle,
which is Next Generation. Yes, she was at the time the only female turtle. Now there's
I've never seen this female turtle.
Well, she's making a comeback, and she's coming into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 127. I mentioned this story because I know some of you comic book fans out there love turtles. I know Big Mike's a fan of turtles, and I'm sure he'll be looking out for that one too. Because I know he's a particularly big fan of the old Ninja Turtles, so I know he'll be looking out for that one as well. So that's our week of comic book news.
Oh, we had 2 comic books. There you go. That's quite good.
No, we've got some more there somewhere.
No, but that's quite good for us. Normally we don't do any. So
I know, and I do read a lot of comic books. I've stopped for the past few weeks just because Amazon updated their app, and it's so hard to find any of the comic books. Like normally, I've got a link, and I can just click on the link, and the next issue.
Do you not just go through the Kindle app?
No, because it doesn't. You've got to know what issue you're looking for, as opposed to having an automatic connection. And the Kindle app's it's no better. So hopefully Amazon will fix that. There are a lot of complaints about it, but I'm like, I can't deal with it at the moment. So yeah, I will get back into reading. Actually, I'll do some comic book reviews from next week if I can get my reading up to wrap. Now, talking of things that are wrapping up, Indiana Jones 5 has wrapped up filming, and we should be learning the film's title soon. It's rumored to involve time travel and Roman soldiers. I know that didn't excite everybody when they first started it, but it is Indiana Jones, and it is Harrison Ford. It is Steven Spielberg. I doubt they're going to mess it up for us, and I'm pretty sure it's almost certainly going to be a great film. I'm certainly looking forward to it. But yeah, it's just finished up, wrapped up photo filming, so I'm reckoning it should be out, I guess, early next year. Is that a film that did you want an Indiana Jones 5?
You know what?
Did the world need an Indiana Jones 5?
Last year, I reintroduced myself to all of them. I went onto Sky Movies and I downloaded all 5 or 4, wherever they were.
Yeah.
And a couple of them are absolutely shocking. The original ones, the original 2 are absolutely fantastic.
Hold on. So you're saying Indiana Jones, and then you're saying the
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
The Temple of Doom tends to be my least favorite, but no, that's pretty good.
Temple of Doom's awesome. And
then what about the third one, which was the Last Crusade?
Last Crusade. That's when it started going, as I'd say, Disney 5.
Dave, I don't know what's happening with your mic, but you're
sorry, I moved. I think I might have knocked it. Yeah, it went a bit Disney.
Okay.
And it went stupid. I love Sean Connery to bits, but he should just not have done that film.
Dave, I've got newfound respect for you. Very few mortals would dare to say that. But the fact you have No, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Sean Connery's a fantastic actor,
Yeah.
and do you know what? He probably was the only person that could play the part of Indiana Jones's dad, but the film just wasn't built for him.
Yeah.
He was going through that. I think he was going through that stupid stage where he started doing Dragon Heart and stuff like that. It's like, come on.
Well, he was getting on a bit. I mean, he's not.
No, but then he done The Rock after that, didn't he? And it was fucking awesome.
No, yeah, I thought he did The Rock before that.
Oh, did he?
Don't quote me on that. I just thought The Rock had come out before that film.
But you think of The Rock and then you think of Indiana Jones. You think he was awesome in The Rock.
Okay. No, that's very interesting that you said that because he never came back after that. He never, even though I think they asked him to come back because he wasn't in the Crystal Skull.
No, he died, didn't he?
No, he died after that.
I thought he died in the
2 years
Crystal
ago, I think.
Skull. No, he's not dead.
Sean Connery.
Didn't he die? Yeah, I don't remember him dying.
He died like two. Oh, Dave. Oh, don't joke around me, Dave. Don't let me be the one. Don't let me be the one who brings you that bad news.
Nah, he did. Did he die?
Yes, he died.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, 31st of October 2020. Right, died on Halloween. Poor guy.
Oh, God. I'm the guy who told you. Oh, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry, Dave. I'm
going to have to watch The Untouchables tonight now.
That's a good film.
It's a fucking great film.
I didn't used to like it all. And historically, it's about as accurate as A Fight in the Lift. But as a film. I know, but its historical accuracy is questionable. But my God, do they make the most of a small story? Yeah. There's that scene. The music alone is fantastic, but then you've got all the scenes like the horseback chase. You've got the.
It had a massive cast as well.
Yeah, well, it was at the time. It was Sean Connery and
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, who were the big names, and a lot of other people were either up and coming or they were known character actors.
Well, that's the trouble. That's what's happened. I
forget what's his name was in it as Al Pacino. No, not Al Pacino.
Al Capone. Robert De Niro is Al Capone.
Yeah, De Niro is in it as Al Capone. So yeah, it's not an accurate movie, and it certainly is one of those films that I question, especially in its presentation of Kevin Costner's character, who in actuality was an alcoholic, and quite corrupt. So I do find that interesting the way that he's presented on screen, and if he would have probably been a lot more interesting character if he was presented as the man that he was. But my God, that is a fantastic movie. That's a really good call. And if you haven't seen Untouchables, I'd say try and watch it. It's in the league, like it's like films like Tombstone.
I would say it's probably in the same league as like Goodfellas and stuff like that. It's a mob film.
Mm. No, you're reverbing again on me, Dave. I don't know what it is. It's like the connection's bad.
I might need a new lead for the mic then.
Yeah, it sounds like the connection's going or something. But yeah, I think I'd put it in a league with Tombstone and films like that. They're maybe not accurate films, but they're incredibly enjoyable, and they get the spirit.
But they're classic movies.
They get the spirit of what makes a good movie, and you won't sit there like I've never sat there and not enjoyed watching it. El Dorado, that's the other one. That was a really, really good film. The one where that's another West. Have you seen El Dorado?
I can tell you, it doesn't sound familiar to me. Maybe if I saw the cover, I'd go, yeah, that's the one for me. But is that another 80s film?
I'll remember it and then I'll let you know because it's got quite a distinctive cast in it. But yeah, I just think that was a great film. Which I can't remember what we were talking about that got us into that. Right, moving on.
We must have been talking about something that made us jump into that. Oh,
yeah. I think
we were talking about Indiana Jones.
We just get into.
It was Indiana Jones we were
Dr.
talking about.
Jones.
Yeah, Dr. Jones.
Right, so there's this
We
story.
won't talk about the
put in
Shia
about
LaBeouf one anyway.
Look, leave Shia alone. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being bad. The reason why that film isn't
He was
good
your
isn't
buddy,
'cause
not
of Shia
mine.
LaBeouf.
I actually like him.
Whoa there, Tiger. I've got issues with him the same as everybody else. So I remember Transformers.
I've got no issues with him. Peanut Butter Falcon's an awesome film.
People give him a lot of crap, and I don't think he deserves it. It's not his fault that Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull wasn't good, because nobody says the bits with him in it were the bad bits. It's they didn't like the idea of the Crystal Skulls being alien.
Well, I can say something about the bad bits about him.
Yeah. So
the bike he was
have a
using was
particular
built in
issue with him.
2008, and he was meant to be the 50s.
Who would know that apart from you?
Because I work on those motorcycles.
Exactly. Right, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, what else is there? You put this story in. There's a film, an R-rated action classic hunts down Disney Plus success.
No, they're going to release Predator the series.
Which I think it'll work better as a series than a movie. I really like the last couple of films, and they put a lot of money behind the last couple of films because there was Predator.
Well, I think this is going to be Disney's next big thing after Star Wars. It's going to be the Predator franchise.
No, I don't think it. Well, do you know what? Who am I to say?
You say no? They're showing all the films now, and they're going to release a TV series. They must be doing something with it.
Yeah, but I
just been re-released on the comic books again.
I'll be intrigued to see it. I know that they've got a film coming out called Prey, which is set way before the original films were, and it's meant to be. But if they do a TV series, I don't know. It could work. I think a
TV series could work because
I think
the films jump around, and with a TV series, you can jump around.
I hope so. They need to give the Predators some kind of point.
As long as they don't open up like a multiverse like they do with all the DC and Marvel stuff, it'd be fine.
Surprised they own both Alien and Predator. I'm surprised they haven't gone, look, do you know what? These films aren't working. Let's sit down and see if we can make a TV series based on the lore and all the rest of it. Because the last couple of Alien films have performed pretty badly with audiences. And they make no sense.
I think Alien should have just died its death. It was a great 80s franchise. And they should have just left it.
No, I'm with you.
After what was it, the third one? Was it the third one where Sigourney Weaver had the baby?
Yes.
It's like it's stupid after that.
After that.
Yeah.
I think the second they tried to expand it past what it was. You see, the problem with the Alien movies is they relied on people doing stupid things, like in an average horror film. So even if you did the right thing, nobody did the right thing. They always kept doing the stupid thing, like trying to make a weapon out of an alien that has acid for blood, and has wiped out every civilization it's come into contact with. Why would you even try? Why would you? Nothing about it makes any real sense. So it'll be interesting to see if that works. Good luck to them if they do it. God knows Disney Plus needs some sort of shows out there that are successful that aren't Marvel and Star Wars. Because outside of Walking Dead, which comes to its final, and they're stringing it out, it comes to its final part this month or in the next couple of months. That's coming to an end. I can't think of any other shows that have really stood out. Big Sky had an all right, good first season. Second season.
Wonder Year's first season wasn't too bad.
It was all right until the last couple of episodes. The last couple of episodes, it went sort of X-Files. And as opposed to being, because it starts off as a really serious drama about the trauma caused by women getting kidnapped and trafficked.
Well, you're on about Big Sky now, not Wonder Years.
Yeah. Wonder Years. What?
I said the Wonder Years was all right.
Oh,
You
Wonder
went,
Years.
it was
No,
okay.
the Wonder. Sorry, Wonder Years is superb. I've lost track of it, but I'm going to catch up on it again. I'm hoping that gets the second season.
But it was only
And then,
eight episodes of this.
Yeah, so I don't know how many more shows really stand out, because a lot of them were cancelled that they made a big deal of. The Hellstrom show, which
I
didn't
watched that
even finish.
Stumptown, and I thought that was an amazing, really good cop drama.
That's a
program.
really old. That show was cancelled about 2 years ago now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I watched it on Disney Star when it came out, and it because Mike mentioned it, and I thought, I'll give it a go, and it was really good. And it was like, why was that cancelled? Same as Rebel, why was that cancelled?
I know Rebel. I can't believe Rebel got cancelled as well. I was like, hold on, that's a really good show, and it got cancelled.
Two really good shows they cancel, and they
Why
they
the
give,
Last Man
like,
got cancelled.
they give shite another season. It's like,
but maybe that's what it is. The lowest common denominator wins. Moon Knight's coming at us, and Moon Knight's not out until the 30th of next month.
No, 14th.
The 14th. So it's still another 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Feels like a long time. I feel like
are they not releasing nothing tomorrow then?
Not that I've heard of.
Because that'd be the third Wednesday without dropping anything, really.
Yeah. Well, no, they've still got the The Walking Dead. Yeah, this sort of forget. Although we're not fans of it, it's literally one of their biggest shows.
Yeah, but Walking Dead, like, if you're watching it from the beginning now, you think, oh my god, this is a really great show.
Yeah.
But when you've been watching it for the last 10 years or 8 years, whatever it is, it drags on, and you're like, my god,
which might be why I'm enjoying it so much.
They don't leave where they are. It seems like they just go round in a circle, and it's like there's a bigger place than Atlanta.
Oh yeah, look, the budget's low. Like, they spent 1 year, one season in a city, and that was it.
And then one season in a prison, and then
and the budget, like, clearly they got an easy time on the budget. It costs a lot. The makeup costs more than anybody in that show. It's not the type of show you can literally ask for a pay rise. Do you know what I mean? It's like, unless you're like Norman Reedus or the other guy who is going to make the films for HBO. It's not like you like, they're making 3 films, I think, off the back of that. I don't know if they're going to be coming to, I think it's AMC.
Yeah, but they were doing the Fear of the Walking Dead, and that was like, oh.
Yeah, but that's not even a Disney property. Disney just has The Walking Dead, and I think it's only because it got broadcast on there. The other shows are all.
It was broadcasted by Fox.
Yeah, but the other shows weren't.
No, they were done by AMC.
Yeah.
No,
so it's going to be
BT over
interesting
here.
to see if it's going to be interesting to see what happens after that. Right. So let's see. So Fantastic Beasts, Daredevil, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Lego confirms. What's this story about, Dave? The Lego confirms Mando has a face print in new Star Wars set.
So normally with like Lego sets and stuff, underneath the helmet, they don't have the faces. But with this one, with the new Mandalorian spacecraft, with the Grogu, and he able to take his face off, take his helmet off and show his face.
Yeah.
But the actual set looks really good, and for £58, it looks all right. I'm actually going to buy this one.
Oh, we're getting back into the business of buying models, are we?
I always buy Lego, sort of Lego stuff.
Okay, well, that's going to be
Lego's more collectible than gold, because they only last for a couple of seasons and then it goes. And they buy it for their kids and stuff, get excited, and sorry, the packaging's ruined, and that's when you start cashing in on eBay, you know. So you make easy bucks.
And what's this next story about? The fan favorite Star Wars maybe setting up the return of a fan favorite character. Who is a fan favorite character?
Oh, you got to get me into this story now. It's from the games, if I remember.
Oh, Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, so he's in between the Bad Batch and is it Bad Batch and the Star Wars? He's part of Rogue One, get the plan stuff for the Death Star, isn't he?
Yeah, I remember the game. I'm surprised that they'd be looking to do that, because in terms of game, they tend not to. The games usually stand quite separate, and the Kyle Katarn story is back when you had all the Star Wars fan films.
Well, I think what they're saying is that they can introduce him because of the Bad Batch and Order 66.
Okay.
So
I
it'd
think it'd
be
be
interesting to
interesting.
know.
I don't think he's. I was never a big fan of the Carl Catan.
No, but it was just because he was the Jedi of the games, wasn't he? It was
mm.
that was his backstory.
Well, it could be interesting. I certainly look forward to it, especially with the Bad Batch, who had quite a subtle first season.
Yeah,
And
it
it'll be
wasn't as good as
interesting
I
to see
thought it
where
would
goes
be.
next season. No, it wasn't as exciting, and it wasn't as wide scale as I thought.
Because you think how good the last season of Clone Wars was. You think, the Bad Batch is going to come out and kick ass.
That was
and then it just
years
went
of build up.
Yeah.
I remember when Clone Wars first started, and everybody, like fans, hated it.
I hated it. I never watched it
despised
until last year.
Yeah.
And I sat there and you made me watch it. You said, just stick with it. And I stuck with it. And I was like, my God, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, you can't compare it because years of build up. I mean, like the key moments in Rebels was when Darth Maul.
Well, Rebels
back.
is always good.
Sorry, no, in Clone Wars, Darth Maul comes back. Yeah, but people hated Rebels the first season of Rebels because the first season of Rebels was very kid-like. It was very.
To me, it went back to the roots of my roots. It was a proper cartoon.
Yeah.
It wasn't CGI. It wasn't no fancy stuff. It was drawings.
Hated it.
No, I liked it because that's what I like to see. It was like the X-Men when I was a kid. You could sit there and watch it. It was a cartoon.
Mm. Well, that's the interesting thing because I was watching a YouTube video about Deep Space Nine and the type of hate, like the stars are reading out letters that have been sent to them, and it's exactly the same thing things say about shows then. Same thing they were saying about shows like Discovery or Clone Wars now.
Well, yeah, because you got to remember, I remember reading some stuff. The Freddie Prinze Jr. got absolutely slated. Kanan. It's absolutely slated. And you're like,
him.
God.
And the moment when he comes out as a Jedi, it was amazing. Like animated watching, it's like, stay back, kid. He's a Jedi.
And it's like, but this I've noticed this when you say like these different like fanboys. My God, some of them are ruthless.
They still like I've been calling them out a lot online, and they can't handle it. It's like Joe Rogan fans are probably the worst, but the fanboys for Star Wars and Star Trek in particular are horrible half the time. And I'm like, you really have missed the point of Star Wars and Star Trek if you're being racist. Like, you really missed, like, it's gone over your head if that's the person.
You don't get more multicultural, could you?
Yeah, you've really missed the point. And especially with Star Wars, you've missed the point if you hate foreigners. And a lot of these people are really like, and they come talk to you like you're the idiot. And I'm like, really? How does that compute for you? Now, but yeah, I just found the whole experience of dealing with fandom, it never changes. They're horrible, they're mean half the time, but the core fandom loves them. Like, they think the show that gets it the worst, and admittedly, the production values on the show need improving, is Batwoman. It's now a fanboy pastime to slag that show off to some degree. I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it because the production values weren't great, but my God, people try and hide behind their, like, try to cover their racism up. They hate the fact it's a black Batwoman, and I'm like, you know what? The first season of that show was pretty bad, but it's nobody's fault that they hired a movie actress to be in a TV show. And I only say this because doing shows
movie
like
actress?
CW, huh?
Movie actress?
Yeah, what's her name? She's known for film. She doesn't do
Who? Ruby Rose?
Yeah, she's not.
No,
she's film, man.
Her first major TV show was Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, but again, that's different.
She was like an MTV host or something stupid.
Ruby Rose, right?
She wasn't an actress.
Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black films more like a film than it does a TV show. It's 10 episodes, yeah? And when you do 10 episodes, that's what, 3 months of your year and you're gone. These Arrowverse shows are 22 episodes.
And 22 episodes too much anyway. They're just crap.
and that sort of stress, it takes a lot out of you, and I'm not surprised that she couldn't do it.
It took it out of me just trying to watch it.
But I'm going to give
Not her stress. She stressed me out of her terrible acting. She could join the Haiti Christian fan club.
Black Batwoman, I'm going to give her a shot, because if it's annoying the racist that much, it must be doing something right.
Well, we gave her a shot, and she was just as bad.
Well, no. I'm going to give her a shot, because they've got the
give her a shot. She had a season out of me, and that was it. Well, she didn't get a season.
All right, but admit, if I come back to you and go, Dave, you need to watch this again.
No, sorry, the whole Arrowverse, the DC verse, it's dead to me now.
Fair enough. And then I won't take calls with you. And that's a fair enough statement to make, Dave. And that's the thing that gets
terrible.
Me the most. When people
the only thing good is Lois and Clark now.
What's that?
That's the only one I like. Lois and Clark.
Yeah, but Lois and Clark, let's face it, it's not Arrowverse. They keep saying it's Arrowverse, but it's not. It's in its own little universe.
Well, it's all owned by HBO and CW.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, the fandom, I think we should do a top 10 fandom next week, and give our reasons why, because some of the fandom's just terrible out there. Now, we've run out of time, but we're going to make some time, because me and Dave need to review Uncharted.
do we have to review Uncharted?
Yeah, we're going to do a review of Uncharted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Global Frequency, and this is our... Sorry, I wouldn't have done it again. Ladies and gentlemen.
You done that on purpose. I can see it in your face.
No, I didn't. Ladies and gentlemen.
You know, there's a big sign above your head and a big sign above mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the boys from Bossk, and this is our review of Uncharted. Starring Tom Holland in the lead role as Nathan Drake, and supported by Mark Wahlberg and Sophia Taylor-Ali, with villain Antonio Banderas and Tati Gabrielle. This film is a big budget outing. I think its budget was about 90 to 120 million, and it's already banked 226 million. And, you know, whatever you think of this film overall, I think this movie is the movie that sort of says Tom Holland's a star, and like a proper movie star, and that he could probably do, you know, if he picks his next movie right, he could probably do like whatever he wants and make a lot of money.
Please, Tom, pick the right movie.
Yeah, and
not Uncharted 2.
So I'll go first, because I think I always let Dave go first in the review. So this time I'm going first. Tom Holland plays basically a little rapscallion. And this is
well,
the
no, say it right. He's a kid in a foster home. Well, he's actually in a nunnery, isn't he?
We joined
him and his brother.
Yeah, he basically they're both orphans. Their parents are gone, which I'm sure we'll explore in another film. And his brother is looking after him, but his brother gets kicked out. And these aren't really spoilers. This comes up in the first 5 minutes. So he's a barman in a bar, and he's also a thief. What I don't like what this film does is what a lot of films seem to do, and Sony films seem to do it a lot. They try and give him a moral excuse for being a thief. So this girl he's serving at the bar, she's an English girl. She's cute. She's talking to him.
No, she wasn't an English girl. She's just a girl from the Upper East Side.
No, she was English. You say she was English, and it was daddy's money she had. And
no, yeah, because she's an Upper East Side girl. That's what they're all like.
I thought they said she was.
It's like us going into Chelsea, you know. They're all like that.
No, but I thought they said she was an English girl. She was from. No, she did, because he makes that story about her being from Oxford and how you've never had a drink like this in Oxford, hey? Never had one, have you, hey? Because this was made by the Russian king, hey? And she ignores him, and that sort of was meant to give the audience. I don't know. It was meant to see like he was morally right to rob her because he robs her, and it's like he's not that bad because she's a bit stuck out. So she deserved to get robbed because it was all daddy's money. And
but that was the Oliver Twist moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just thought that's a really horrible way to start a film that you sort of have to morally justify. And movie makers do this all the time. And the problem with it is it sets a really bad precedent for the film moving forward. Right?
No, but you got to remember when the actual film first started at the very beginning, him and his brother were robbing a museum.
No, yeah, but they were doing it to find a treasure, right? Which, to me, you know...
Well, that's how you become a thief, my friend.
No, I'm sorry. It was just this stealing shit from somebody's wrist.
Like starting with weed and ending on coke, you know, it happens.
Stealing something off somebody's wrist, comparing that to finding a treasure, slightly different. And I think it just sent a bad precedent for the film overall. You know, if you look at Indiana Jones, you know, I don't know what it is about these sort of treasure hunting movies, but Indiana Jones, even though the first scene's ridiculous, like why would you put that many booby traps? Right? Who would do that? Like create a temple when there's something that you clearly somebody needs at some point.
Wow, you've really like skipped subject there.
No,
You've gone
but
from like the
apart-
beginning of the film to like
but
past Dave's
outside of
nap.
no, but hear me out. Outside of that, that film's really quite good because the Ark of the Covenant, you know, the finding of it and all the rest of it, it makes sense. The whole story makes sense. The premise of this film is that basically at some point, the Spanish guy who was the first to circumvent the world, right? They found some treasure somewhere, right? Now, the one thing I know about Spaniards is they like to show off, right? Especially historically. They're not the type of dudes that if you found that much gold, as they apparently had in the film, why would you hide it somewhere on the other side of the world and then leave vague messages about how to find it? What would be the point of doing that? But this is the whole premise the film relies on. And from that moment on, if you're drawn into it, like it's like, really? And not even the action adventure can cover up how preposterous the whole thing is. And it makes me realize how good the Raiders of the Lost Ark actually is as a movie, because it makes you believe stuff and it's a great adventure to go on. But with this film, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Crystal Skull because it makes no sense. You know, from the start of the film, there's all these, they have to go like through at least seven different levels of quests to find this treasure. And it really didn't make any sense at all because like, why couldn't you just go to that point to start with? You know what I mean? It's like you knew they went past there, just go and search. What difference does it make? But anyway, this is the premise the film stands on.
That's the whole point of the map, though, isn't it? It makes it exciting, even though you could cheat your way.
Hit this treasure, create a couple of keys to put it, a map to find it, and keys to find it, blah blah, and then hit it somewhere in Spain. And Mark Wahlberg wants to find the treasure. Tom Holland thinks his brother might be alive and where the treasure is, so he's brought on. And then later on, as the film goes on, they're bringing Sophia Taylor, who's got another half of the key, who, you know, she's also a thief. But
yeah, I don't remember her appearing because that's when I took my 20-minute nap.
And the film just rolls on from there. Lots of great action scenes, and it does have, look, it has superb action scenes. And after watching something like Fast and Furious, they at least put a little logical sense into it until the last 20 minutes of the film. Which
I was going to say, we're not Fast and Furious.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but they outdo Fast and Furious in terms of pure stupidness. Not stupidness, stupidness, right? Because I was sat there, like, I could take everything else the film had to offer in terms of the action scenes. And even though it just still relied on people doing stupid things at stupid times, half the time, right? But as an example of how just like, you've seen in the trailer, if you've seen trailers, there's a scene with these ships where they literally, at one point in the film, somebody gets one half of the treasure and somebody else gets the other half of the treasure. Singularly, either half of these treasures would have made these people so rich, it wouldn't have mattered, right? You'd have so much money, right? It wouldn't even be worth fighting over. It's like, just keep it. I'm going to hate you, and I might use some of the money I've got to hunt you down at some point, but it's cool. Nope. They get drawn into the most ridiculous battle scene that I reckon even the producers of Pirates of the Caribbean were like, oh, wow. And people criticize this for the sea cyclone. Okay, cool. And for me, it just degenerated after the first act. It could have been a really clever film. It could have done it in a really intelligent manner, but it chose to go the Fast and Furious route. And there's a reason why computer games don't sometimes make good transfers. And it's not because of the filmmakers. It's because a lot of computer games, their plots make no sense outside of the game. In the real world, they make no sense whatsoever. Mortal Kombat, I don't care how many movies you make of Mortal Kombat. It will make no sense.
The last
It
one was
makes
terrible.
it makes no sense. Why would you reduce the existence of humanity to a bunch of meatheads smacking the crap out of each other? Like that's, it doesn't. These types of stories are so old and outdated. They don't work. And this is my thing with Uncharted. Why spend 90 to 120 million on a film and somebody don't go, let's make this make logical sense? Everybody seems to go down the Armageddon route. And this film's no different from it. But up until the last act, it's really enjoyable. The last act, it lost me. I was sat next to Dave in the cinema and I was like, just fuck this. Tom Holland's a star. You've carried this film on your shoulders. But no, outside of that, the last act's just an unforgivable mess. And that wasn't even my biggest problem with it. Before I let Dave jump in, because I've gone on long enough, my biggest problem with this film is they make a joke about Tom Holland's character, Nathan Drake, being the descendant of Sir Francis Drake, who was a pirate and a slaver. And I noticed all the villains in this film, one's Irish, one's Jamaican, and one's sort of the Indian girl. She's the Indian girl.
The tall, massive brute Scottish.
Yeah, sorry, it was Scottish. And I was like, really? So all the people that got trampled on by the British Empire, the villains in this film, and Boston Marky Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland are the good guys. Do me a favor. I just like somebody, I don't know who wrote this. I don't know who's responsible for this.
Even the girl they're working with, she turns into like a criminal. She's an Australian.
Yeah, but I think she's got Indian in there. She's got some sort of
I think she might be Maori, actually. I think she might have been Kiwi.
But yeah, I was just like, wow. I was like, what? I don't know. I'm just like,
What are you going to give it out of 10 then, mate?
I'm gonna give it. No, you know what? I'm not gonna rate the film. Tom Holland, you get a 7 out of 10, just because you are.
What's
Tom
the film gonna get?
I'm not gonna rate it.
You have to rate it. It has to go on our ratings list for the year.
No, for the year, then I'll give it a -5.
Seriously, you're gonna give it a -5?
I'm sorry, this film was bad. And no, actually, all right.
So you're telling me Rotten Tomatoes got it right?
No, I'm gonna say, what did Rotten Tomatoes give it?
38%.
Yeah, but okay, I'll give it 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. It hurt my feelings watching this film because Tom Holland, his physicality in this movie, the way he comes out, his performance is superb, and he really nails the character. But outside of that, I'm sorry if you're having the ship's.
Can I just have my 30 seconds?
Davis wheels.
Man, you went on some serious rant. I don't think there's anything left to say. All I've got to say is this: if you've seen Oliver Twist, Indiana Jones, The Goonies, Tomb Raider, James Bond, and Fast and Furious, it's all wrapped into one.
I'm gonna cry. Oh God.
And you know what? I actually agree with you. It's not the best film in the world.
Yeah, but it didn't.
I had a 20-minute nap because it was so fucking boring at the beginning.
It didn't.
I don't remember the Australian girl turning up.
Though.
I just woke up and they were in Spain.
It didn't even have to be that bad. Do you know what I mean? And it's like it didn't how Sati Gabriel does something halfway, like in the last act of the film, she does something, right? And it's like, that makes no sense. Like, it's not like there's not enough gold to go around. It's not like they're not after a small treasure.
No, but it was the Goonies, because it's like, they lost the boat and all that stuff and all the treasure, and then suddenly it's like, let me go into my pockets and I've got a couple of diamonds left over. In this case, it was little bits of gold.
I don't care what anybody says. That treasure, like, literally, this film. Let me give you a prime example of why this film's stupid, right? the first when they get these keys, right? They get a map and they got to go find under a church, right? They got to go under a church and it says one person goes up, one person.
But the
goes
church
down,
thing
blah,
was
blah,
done in
blah.
Tomb Raider. I swear it was done in Tomb Raider.
And they are walking through the church. Yeah. Now, it wouldn't have bothered me, right? But this one little thing bothered me, right? She finds a gate with a padlock on it. I'm like, now this was done. These apparently guys were around 1500,
500 years ago. It was
right? Why is there a padlock on the gate? Yeah, somebody must have been down there and padlocked it. But then he goes down this other.
Curtis, they go through the gate and they turn into it goes into a nightclub.
Yeah, but nobody's explained it to me, right? Clearly, builders or whatever must have been down there at some point to fix a piping.
The whole sewage system must have been fixed.
He goes down another pathway, and arrows and shit come poking out, and I'm like, wait a second. How has nobody noticed this before? Why is
no one's walking down? Yeah, it's. Mate,
like, it hurts,
do you know what? I'm going to agree with you with this one. But I'm going to go slightly high. I'm going to just give it a 4 because it was entertaining.
It's hurt my feelings.
So out of 20, that got a grand total of 7.
Did you know Bryan Cranston was in it? Where was Bryan Cranston in this?
He must have been in when I was asleep. Maybe he was the teacher.
I didn't see Bryan Cranston in it.
Maybe he was the guy that said, "No, you can't. You here for the map." When they went to steal it, might have had a cameo.
But yeah, I've never finished the games. The games always seemed a bit more grounded than this. And I only played the last game that came out, the first level, when he's on a train and he has to climb up from a train that crashes, and it was perfectly all right. But again,
how many was there? There was 4 of these, weren't there? Uncharted games.
I personally don't have a problem with the Uncharted franchise. This looks like it's going to be the start of a big franchise because, like I said, it's already hit 200 million, 250 million worldwide. It's the start of a franchise. There will be a sequel.
I don't think it's gonna. I think that'll be it. I think that's its peak.
No, I think they'll
because you've got Batman coming out this week. I think that's its peak. No, I think that's the peak for that.
Whoever they get to make the next one, please get someone who knows how to write a script. Please, and use a little bit of common sense. Do you know what I mean? Just a little bit of common sense. Just the rickety old pirate ships going off at each other underneath helicopters. I'm like, Rick, come on. Do you know what I mean? Bad guys.
I remember you were sitting there and you was like, how the hell did they get through that wall? And he just had to swim to that place.
And like, we couldn't find them, boss. They must have escaped. Really? You literally saw Tom Holland go past 15 minutes earlier and like, they must have escaped. They can't be on the ship. We've searched everywhere. What type of bad guys are you? Don't
especially
do that.
With today's technology.
Seriously. And your answer to it is not to get Anakin to just take the treasure out. What you want the ships to? Why would you? Those ships, let alone they would not have been standing. They would not have been standing up.
Look at the way they took them out. They were just, and they were hitting them. It's like they would have just rotten to death. It's 500 years of wood. I've got a 30-year-old fence out there. It needs to be replaced because it's just rotted to death.
Like, wow. You hate your audience, but yeah, Tom Holland personally, I think he's superb and give him 6 out of 10 straight away.
Do you know what? Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland. I don't think you can knock any of the actors. I just think it was just a very bad script.
It's the last act in particular, but the script, it makes no sense.
The last act was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Like, really?
It was that bit. It was just all Goonies to me. All I'm thinking of is One-Eyed Willie, the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think it's just a shame. I think, do you know what? Historically,
you could even bring in what was that film with The Rock? With the bloody Jungle Cruise sort of stuff, yeah. You can just bring that into it as well.
Yeah. I think, look, at the end of the day, I don't want to hate on people, and I think anybody who makes a film based on a game is brave. But why go through all that hassle if you're literally you take such a good action scene, which was the one in the plane, and him climbing up the baggage, which I think.
But it started off like, do you know what? As soon as it started off, and you can see him climbing that plane in the very first scene, and the way he was flipping and stuff and getting stuck on the ropes, I was like, this one's just gonna be a load of bullshit.
I was hoping it wouldn't be, but
But since I saw that, I thought this film's gonna be a load of bullshit.
No, for me, it's the moment when he started defying physics on that, and like
that's what I mean,
else,
because everything was flying, and then the car hit him. And you're like, oh really? Come on.
No, it was a bit where he knocks somebody off, right, and they fall away, but somehow he's able to jump up. Now, well, you know, physics-wise, the second you let go of that, you're just going to fly off.
And the only thing that was keeping him there was his shoes stuck in the rope.
Yeah.
Man, you would have popped a tendon. You'd have been in so much agony.
You know what I mean? I think, look, no, very few films are perfect scripts. And I think this type of movies, if I was going to recommend it to you, it's a half-decent family film. It's in league. It's sort of like...
It's definitely a family film.
Men in Black. I'd say it's in that sort of league.
Yeah, it's
like
a quirky drama.
A
quirky
lesser
action
version
movie.
of Men in Black in terms of the entertainment level. And if anybody says Tomb Raider is rubbish with Angelina Jolie, I'll show them this as a reason why Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider actually has a better plot line than this does. And it makes a lot more sense than this does. Like, why did they put why did they do that in the middle? That makes no sense.
And you were really looking forward to this film. That was the funny thing about it. You was gonna last week on the show, you was like giving it really rave reviews. Oh yeah, it's done this, it's made this much money, it's gonna be great.
A lot of money.
And I was like, yeah, I don't trust it.
I was living in hope, Dave. I was living in hope. But clearly this film had
I'm glad the £20 lunch was a lot better.
Yeah, no, that was good lunch. Wagamama. I really enjoyed that. Thanks for that call. Actually, you might do that again sometime. Well, Batman. We've got Batman next week. Well, no, this week. I need to check. We'll do a Batman review sometime over the weekend. Separately, I think, from the show. Because that's gonna need that's 3 hours.
Well, like this one, we're gonna have to cut a review show, I think.
Yeah.
Because you went a bit rampy on that one.
Look, I can't. There was no other.
It must have been the t-shirt you're wearing. Outlaw.
There was no other way. Right. Just to wrap up with a few little stories for you quickly before we go. Crunchyroll is now adding all Funimation anime. Funimation, I think, was Crunchyroll got taken over by Sony. And Crunchyroll.
Is that the £5 a month one?
Funimation is £5 a month. Crunchyroll, I think, is up to £14 a month.
Wow! So how much are they going to pay for both?
You know, you can get one for like $4.99 or whatever, or $6.99, which I would go for. I just think the Crunchyroll app's rubbish, and it doesn't work very well. But that's coming to Funimation's coming to an end. I do love some anime, so I may get it, but not yet. We'll see how it goes. Or I might.
But they're going to obviously pump a deal out beforehand, aren't they?
What's that?
They're also going to pump a deal out if they're both linking up together.
Pump a few.
They're going to pump out a deal if they're linking up together.
Yeah. So Funimation's coming to an end.
I thought you said it was moving to Crunchyroll.
No, they've moved all the anime over to Crunchyroll.
So right, okay. So they've literally brought the product, basically.
Yeah, so Funimation's coming to an end, so that will be gone.
A bit like Netflix is soon going to come to an end, isn't it? Because Amazon and Disney fucking got everything.
I think Netflix will just have to change. Netflix needs to start putting out better product. But that's a discussion for another time. I've already burned my bridges today with the Uncut fans.
Well, they have. The Five Vikings is a good start, I think, for this year.
Well, the other show, have you watched? Do you know what? We'll leave it for another show because, my God, we've gone on. And the last story is Anti-Maki is to start in another game adaptation.
Oh, mate, no, we need to save this one for next week. So I don't think it's a big story at the moment. Well, we could be one of the first to release this story.
No, it's cool. We'll leave it till next week or over the weekend. I think we'll do a
because it's a game. I think it's a good story actually.
We'll do a special Batman review, guys. It's been a pleasure. Any questions or whatever, just hit us on the comments or drop me an email at the boys what's our email address?
Do you know what? I don't even know what our email address is now. I don't go by the one on top of my one.
All right, we'll get a few email addresses for you. But guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Global Fuki Scene.
I think it is the same thing, isn't it?
No, it's different.
How do we not know our email address?
But thank you either which way. So that's a big thank you from me and a
great thank you from me.
This is the boys from Bossk.